Energized show, up the Irish.
Okay, what's going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Energized. Ross, introduce the guests, man.
Today we have two of next-gen Liverpool's finest athletes. We have former middleweight champion Matt the Beast Bonner, and we have Adam the Fly, the Lumberjack, the Energized 2021 Prospect of the Year, Cullen, on the show today. Lads, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Cheers for having us on, fellas. Yeah.
Nice one for having us, yeah.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure,
introduction there.
Yeah, well, in fairness, we saw you bigging us up on Paddy's podcast and saying that you were rubbing that Prospect of the Year in Luke Riley's face, so had to give you the shout out on it, you know.
Yeah,
lads, before we get into things, before we get into the fights coming up, lads, like Adam, you have to say it on camera now. What nickname are you going to go for? And then, like Matt, you can chime in on this as well.
I can't pick a nickname, can you? Like, you've got to let the people decide, haven't you? If I go calling myself Adam the Crusher, Cullen or something, it's just shite, isn't it? I've got to let the people decide.
Matt, what would you go for? Would you go for the Fly or the Lumberjack?
I would go for the Lumberjack there, I think, and then just walk out with an axe. I think my opponent walks out with a chainsaw sometimes when he's fighting in France. I don't think he'll be bringing his chainsaw with him over to Colchester, but Cullen could do his axe, couldn't he?
Imagine the EasyJet charge on bringing a Lumberjack chainsaw over to in your baggage. That's that'd be on the EasyJet, wouldn't it? Imagine.
I think you're better off trying to rent one when you got here now.
Possibly. Get one of those battery powered ones.
Bring it on the train. Well, guys, we are here.
Just nip to be just before you come on. You know, rent out a chainsaw.
Guys, we are here to promote Cage Warriors 137 on the 27th of May in Colchester. The two lads here, Matt and Adam, are fighting on the Friday night. There is also a Saturday night event as well, but it'll be live on UC Fight Pass. Ross, take it away, bud.
Guys, I am really, really excited for this one. When Cage Warriors does a double header, everyone takes notice. Matt, we'll start with yourself. This one, you're fighting at 77 kilos. How do you feel about fighting at this weight? And are you finally making your way and making that move to the welterweight division permanent?
Well, this is actually at 80 kilo, this fight. Because it was such short notice, it's ended up being a catchweight bout. I was kind of initially told by Cage Warriors, you've got to pick one. It's either welterweight or middleweight. Because it was at such short notice, I said, okay, Sam, we'll just do middleweight then. But then they came back and said, okay, but we want you to fight catchweight. So it is what it is. It's 80 kilo. I know, that's Ian Dean for you. But so this is at 80 kilo. I wanted to fight 77 for the Hugo Pereira fight, but because he came in on 2 days' notice, it ended up being 80 kilo for his sake more than mine. But I definitely want to drop down to welterweight. That's the whole. It was supposed to be welterweight for these last two fights, but it's just ended up in a kind of in this catchweight situation at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very interesting division, welterweight at the moment. Obviously, I have Burlington and McKee, and then obviously a win here for yourself puts you in prime position in title contention, as well as Big Figlack as well. So it is looking very tasty there. Adam, you have an opponent to announce for this Colchester card. Do you want to let us know who you're fighting?
Drum roll, please.
You're going to do it. Don't be dirty, mate, trying to pronounce their names here.
You're fighting the Fly.
Arnaud Kerfeller or something, his name is. 5-2 from Paris, I think. Same gym with the boss opponents from. And yeah, I'm just happy to get an opponent at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? It's always same situation for the past 4 fights now. Of opponents in and out, and am I going to get one and sign a contract for one person and he pulls out? So I'm just happy to get a name on the sheet and, you know what I mean, get in there and smash them to bits.
Adam, do you think that's partially our fault that we announced you as Energized Prospect of the Year, and now the opponents are shying away from fighting you?
That's it. They're all terrified now. They don't want to end up as another victim of the Prospect, do they? So that's why they've got to go deep into deep into France and find all these kids for me to beat up.
Absolutely, it's next gen versus the world by the looks of things on this Colchester card. So we're definitely excited to see it.
Yeah. Before we get into that more as well, Adam, you came out with one of the best call outs I've seen on Cage Warriors when the French flag was thrown in by Paddy Pimblett, and then you call out Bahaj. Like, did anything ever come from that call out? Because like that got everyone pumped for that fight.
Yeah, well, I originally thought I was going to get to fight him on Belfast. Told I couldn't fight on Belfast because it was full with Irish lads, which is fair enough. So then I asked for him again when they announced Colchester. I said, go and see if he wants to fight me in. I think it was like 5 or 6 weeks' time. He said no. Apparently he was in Ramadan or something like that. But then he's asking for me, and like he's on the internet going, he's been asking Cage Warriors for me in London and all that. But he's saying I'm scared that he's asking for me in London. He's asking for a 15-week training camp to fight me, the big shitbag. So yeah, I was happy with the court. Hey, by the way, Paddy's throw at that flag, it was absolutely spot on. I thought we were going to fuck that up, in the moment. When I gave him it, I was like, oh, lad, throw this to me. I was thinking, oh, just catch it, lad. And it was fucking pinpoint. But yeah, hopefully he mans up. But at some point, whether it's on that London card or another card coming up, he can fucking get it, because I'm going to absolutely smash his head in his shit.
Baz, it was like shades of Tom Brady to Rob Gronkowski, wasn't it?
I was thinking Paddy must be good. He must have been good at egging a few houses when he was younger. I mean, that was thing was like pinpoint. It worked well at the Padres game as well.
He's a little scally Paddy. He had that throw down, didn't he? Right into my hand.
Absolutely. Matt, I want to touch on your opponent. You're fighting Joel Kuja. Adam's going to be even more annoyed at me that I said your opponent's name, how you didn't have to. Your opponent is going to be probably quite deceiving to a lot of people in the fact that he's got a 7-8 record, but he's on a 6-fight win streak. So he seems to have really got it clicking for himself. Are you aware of how dangerous this guy is? And do you feel like people might look at his record and underestimate him?
Yeah, I think that's possibly the case. That was when I got the message of Paul Rimmer saying, "Look at this fella. This is who they want you to fight." That was what stuck out initially, was the record, and then it's quite strange, the record, in terms of the progression of it. He lost his first 4 fights, and he won 1, and he lost his next 4, and then he's gone on this 6-fight win streak, knocking out all these kids in the first round. So you have to be half decent to have a 6-fight win streak. And the kid, he's got power in both hands. It's a bit of a shame because there's not too many like full fights on YouTube. It's more highlight videos, so you don't really get the idea of what his takedown defense is like or what his boxing defense is like. Generally, not many people would watch a highlight video if it's takedown defense. The highlight video was of the big knockouts, and he's got a fair few of them. So I'm certainly not underestimating him. He's very dangerous, power in both hands, and let's see what he's got when he steps in against me. I just don't think he's fought anywhere close to the level that I am. Even the guys he's knocked out, some of them are absolutely horrendous. So we'll see. We'll see if he's the real deal when he steps in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one where this guy, obviously, like you said, it's not easy to put a 6-fight win streak together anywhere. So I'm very intrigued to see where this guy is at. Also, Matt, your last fight ended up being a bit of a barn burner. Are you going to try and fight slightly smarter this time out and not make it such a brawl, or what way do you envision this one going?
Again, it's when I stepped in with Hugo, I remember kind of making the way down to the cage, and he'd already had his back to me. He already looked like he was half defeated, to be fair. So I think that spurred me on to go in there and be super aggressive. But I don't think it went like a messy aggression. I think it was more like a controlled aggression in that fight. But we'll see. I mean, this kid certainly got a little bit more power than Hugo. Like you said, he's got the knockouts on the record. I tend to go in there with a rough game plan, and then we'll just adjust as we go in there. And obviously, that makes sense with not really knowing what he brings to the table as well. So I'm quite flexible in the game plan this time, and we'll see what he brings. And if we need to adjust after the first or the second round, we're more than capable of doing that. I'm very confident in my stand-up now, very confident in my ground game. That's come on leaps and bounds. I've got my purple belt recently off Paul Rimmer, so I'm not too worried what this kid brings. It's just a case of me being on my game when the fight's on.
Yeah, last time against Pereira, when you had him up against the cage and you were unloading those punches on him, I was like, this is the map honor that we know and love. So hopefully we see more of that. Adam, you were known for your submissions, and then last time out, you let the hands go. What can we expect this time out?
More of the same, thrown me in. I don't even know what I'm gonna do in the fight. I'll just see what happens when I get in his face on weigh-in day, and then I'll probably decide from there what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I'm just confident everywhere. Do you know what I mean? People often think that people in our gym are just like grapplers or whatever, but we can do everything. Do you know what I mean? And I don't really even know what to say. Like this lad's like a bit awkward. Like, I was having a look at his record, and four of his 5 wins are by guillotine choke. It's like, it's a bit of a weird thing to get good at, isn't it? Like a choke from like a losing position. So I don't know. Is he going to pull guard on me or something? You don't know. You got to expect everything, haven't you, in these fights with these lads who come from nowhere basically. So I'm just going to get in his face and just put it on him and put him away early.
We can't wait to watch, lads. Can you tell us as well, what's the atmosphere like in the gym, like for people tuning in or who aren't aware with the team Next Gen? Like, it's obviously the home of Paddy Pimblett and Molly McCann. Like, what's the sort of buzz in the gym now? Because UFC London's now announced, all the Cage Warriors events are on for Colchester, Belfast, and London. Like, what's the gym vibe like right now in the build-up to Cage Warriors 137 in Colchester?
Jim's bouncing at the moment, to be fair. Like you've just suggested then, we've had top fights in the UFC. Paddy and Molly have done us proud there. And then the Cage Warriors after that in Manchester. We had some fantastic results there. I think we lost one, unfortunately, but I think there was like another 5 wins, and they were all like top stoppages as well.
Yeah.
So Jim's bouncing. We kind of feed off the UFC buzz, and hopefully that'll do us well into our fight. There's a lot of momentum at the moment, and that's important for a gym. There's always a good vibe in Next Gen anyway, and I think we're experienced enough to understand that gyms have ups and downs, but Next Gen's certainly on the up, and hopefully that's going to spur us on for Colchester.
Adam, what about yourself, bud?
Yeah, it's just bouncing at the minute. We've got a load of new lads coming in. We're constantly getting like drips and drabs of new training partners coming over and coming to spar and join the team and all that. So the match is getting busier and busier in the morning. It's getting to the point where we're going to need fucking 2 pro sessions, because it's just, top lads as well, do you know what I mean, coming in all the time. So it's getting hard getting the toilet in the morning, getting in there early so you can get before you get your gloves on. Like, but it's good. And we're flying at the minute, and people are recognising that. So they're coming from all over the world and the country to come and train with us. So if that doesn't make it better, I don't know what will.
Ross, that's good to hear, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Mac, do you feel that with the shine on the gym right now, it's your greatest opportunity to put that string of wins together to then get that call from the UFC?
100%. And Paul Rimmer's had conversations with me about this. He's had conversations with the whole gym about it, in terms of, again, because Paddy and Molly have done such a good job over there, the UFC are looking. The way Paul Rimmer described it was when Conor McGregor was doing so well, there was a massive buzz with the Irish, and they were trying to snatch all these Irish guys up. And maybe this is the time for the Liverpool or the north of England. That this is our time. Say to jump in. After this fight, I'm planning on staying in shape and getting ready just in case there's a pull-out in UFC London, and I can maybe jump in there. But yeah, I think you're right in what you're saying in terms of we've certainly got this momentum with us at the moment. And again, Paddy and Molly are big, big charismatic, big personalities, and we can feed on that. They've kind of paved the way for us really to, like you've just mentioned, to step in short notice or to get signed by the UFC.
Yeah, and I think you'd be the first ever UFC fighter from Warrington, and we need to get Warrington's finest in there.
Go on, the Warrington's finest.
That's safe to say. I think I might be the first amateur fighter out of Warrington, to be fair. So just breaking the borders all the time. Yeah.
Do you reckon they'll do a Warrington fight kit? Little like sausage roll on the arm pad and all that.
Yeah. What's called? We'll talk to UFC and see if we can get an exemption to get a sponsorship from Greg's or something.
Yeah, a little Greg's flag on the fight kit.
Need it.
I'll be
Need that
perfect.
steak.
I absolutely love it. Guys, obviously, we just touched on there. Molly and Paddy are in San Diego, I think, still at the moment. I think they're returning any day now. When they're in the gym, how much more of a buzz do they bring to the building?
And it's just non-stop, just like shouting, dancing, arguing with Ventry. It's just it's a wild place to be. Some mornings you come in, you're tired, and Molly's there going, lads, this happened, that happened, and you're just like, oh, that throws you off, do you know what I mean? But yeah, they're definitely a wild bunch, and they end up bouncing off each other. So I think it definitely raises the energy in the gym, just from them two being in there, because it's hard not to, because if you don't jump in with them, you're going to end up getting your head bounced off the floor when Molly's flying off of 14 knuckles that morning, or 14 cups of coffee, whatever she'd had.
Unbelievable, Baz. I can only imagine it. Like, we've obviously spoke to both of them quite a few times, but like being in their presence, you know what I mean? Like they're that big personalities. Guys, we're gonna wrap things up shortly, but I want to know, Matt, how do you foresee this one finishing come fight night?
I think he'll gas out in the second. I think it's going to be too much for him. I don't think he's, again, experienced anyone on my level. I think it will either be a TKO again. I can see this James Webb finish, coming again, or the Hugo Pereira finish coming. It'll be like a rear naked choke without any hooks in, just because I can. Or it'll be a TKO finish, I think.
Yeah, I think the TKO up against TKO up against the fence is the Matt Bonner special.
Yeah,
definitely is.
Yeah, and what about yourself, Adam? How do you see yourself getting the job done at Cage Warriors 137 Colchester?
Any way I want to, really. When I get in there, I reckon I'm just gonna go in heavy and just smash his head in, and that'll be it. Really, I think it'll be all me. I'm just gonna be dominant. He'll be jumping for guillotines or whatever he does. I'm just gonna absolutely break his face, and then afterwards, hopefully, I'll get put in the French MMA rankings, probably at the #1 spot. Because they keep feeding me all these French lads, I might as well be in there, mightn't I?
Yeah, you've been doing your Duolingo as well, haven't you, to make sure that your French is on point?
Oh yeah, I'm fluent now. Let's say
Oui.
Fluent in Google Translate.
And just before we go, also shout out to Liam Malloy, who is on the card. Is there any other next gen guys on the cards across the two nights?
We've got Liam Gittins, and we've got Will Curry's on. I don't know if Will Curry's officially a next gen fighter. He's on the Saturday, I guess he is. He's been cornered by Ben and Luke Riley, so Will Curry's on the Saturday as well.
And shout out to Luke Riley. He's on the Paddy Pimlet diet at the moment.
Hot dog.
Big boy now.
I think he's coming up to the 77 kilo division.
Yeah, he's chasing Matt Bonner. He is.
I still want to fight him. Yeah, I'll stay out of the way.
Guys,
before we wrap things up, we want to give a massive shout out to Next Gen as well. Like they've always looked after us. Every time we have any of the fighters on, it's always been a pleasure. Whether it be yourselves, whether it be Fletch, whether it be Paddy or Molly, it's always a pleasure to deal with you guys.
Guys, thanks a million for everyone who is watching at home. If you have enjoyed this video as much as I have, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and as always,
stay energized.
Energized show, up the Irish. Been sussing you guys a couple of times. I've seen a couple of clips. I think you've done some interviews with Dylan Moran and that I saw. So keep going, keep up the good work, guys.